If you can't get to the store to buy yourself a sketchbook, you don't need to buy one. You can make one very easily at home on your own. The first thing that you need is some heavy board. Here I've used matte board. The paper is about 8.5 by 11, so I cut the matte board to be a 1/2 inch bigger, 9 by 11.5. I took the top board and cut it so that we have 1.5 inches cut along the side. If you need to figure out about how thick your board can be, get yourself one of these old golden books and feel the board here. That's about the thick, it's called book board. That's about the thickness of the board that you want. In a pinch, you can even take one of these books apart and use it for the board on a sketchbook. You will also need tape of some kind. My favorite tape is book tape. It's sometimes called mystic tape. It has a cloth-like texture. If you don't have any cloth-like tape, you can also use Gorilla Tape or duct tape that has a shiny plastic texture. It should be about 2 inches in width. You will need access to a drill or a drill press. I prefer to use a drill press, but a handheld drill will do just fine. In addition to these materials, you will need a needle with a big eye and some embroidery thread or crochet thread. These are called yarn darners, and you can get them for $1.25 at any department store or sewing store. You will need 2 pieces of tape. The first one is cut just about the length of the book board. The second one is cut to be about 1/2 inch or 1/4 to 1/2 inch beyond it. Turn your board over and get your little strip over too. And with the shorter piece of tape, tape the 2 boards together. You should leave just like a little crack in between, perhaps 1/4, maybe a 1/16 of an inch, so that it gives a chance for it to be able to be turned somewhat. And just with a shorter piece of tape, tape them together. Burnish it nicely with your fingers. Flip it over. And with a longer piece of tape, center the tape so it looks nice and burnish it well with your fingers, and then you can just flip it over and put the ends of the tape neatly this way so that the cover can bend and turn just a little bit. The next step is to mark 4 dots that are mostly equidistant on the short side. Start perhaps on one end. I'm using light colored pencil here. Actually, I said wrong, not 4 but 5. There are 3, and then you'll mark the other 2 like this so that you can see that the dots are somewhat evenly spaced on the board. Thread a yarn darning needle with a nice big eye with a large piece of thread about double arm's width. When you have your book, I've drilled the holes about 3/16 of an inch drill bit, and I put clips on to hold it together. Then we begin. Take your needle and pull the thread through till it's got about a 3 to 4 inch tail at the end, and then come back around the book and pull it through again so that it comes with a loop across there. Continue to the next hole, up, over, around. The same pattern will continue over the whole book. When you come to the end, go around to the end and come up through the hole like this. Now you will want to come back through this hole so as to cover the space. The same on the bottom. When you get to the place that you started, continue going through. Come up through the next hole. Around the back as we did before. And now you're back to the beginning. Here you want to do what we call, I'm taking the clips off, a square knot, right over left. If you're not a scout, look it up in the in a book or on the net. Left over right. And I like to do a double square knot actually. I just do it again, right over left. Left over right. At the end you can leave the ends and put some beads on it, or as I'm going to do in this case, just clip it not too close to the knot. And believe it or not, you have a wonderful sketchbook that can last you throughout many months. Here is the completed sketchbook that you can make with just a few steps and simple materials. A sketchbook that is beautiful and long-lasting.